Hello everyone, welcome to online classes on building structure 4. In today's session we are going to study about composite flooring system. So in general, whenever we provide a floor system, either we provide a reinforced floor type or a concrete floor type or a steel floor type. But if we combine a flooring system in such a way that it is a combination of a reinforcement, that is steel as well as a concrete, then we call it as a composite flooring system. Steel, in the sense, it does not represent only the reinforcement which are provided in the concrete. That is, in general, concrete is referred as a reinforced cement concrete. But when I provide a reinforced cement concrete slab supported by a steel rolled section or I sections beams, then I can call it as a composite flooring system. In a traditional steel concrete composite floor consists of a rolled built up structural steel beams and a cast in situ concrete floors connected together by using a shear connectors in such a manner that the combination of a steel and a concrete act together as a monolithic member. The principal merit of a steel and a concrete composite construction lies in the utilization of a compressive strength of a concrete slab in conjunction with the steel beams. So, concrete is strong in compression, whereas steel is strong in taking a tensile loads. So, when we combine a steel with a concrete will give us a strength, whereas a steel will give us a serviceability criteria to fulfill a serviceability criteria, as well as it do have a strength, but it fulfills more towards a serviceability criteria. So this is a typical arrangement of a steel beam with a concrete slab composite flooring system, which are connected together by a shear connector. So these are a few of the examples of or the elements which are used in a composite flooring system. So the first one is where I am using a steel rolled section I section, and then there is a steel plate section, and above that there is a concrete slab section. Second one is a concrete columns, where it might be a concrete column which is completely covered, steel column, rolled steel column which is completely covered or encased inside a concrete layers, or it might have been tube sections which are having a concrete fillings like this type, or rolled tube sections like this type. Then third type is a composite slab. Composite slab, in the sense, there will be a steel profile sheet or a plate, then this plate is filled with a concrete layer. These two together act as a composite slab. So these are the few of the examples of a concrete beam. You can see here, this is a I section connected, a rolled I section connected to the concrete slab with the shear connectors, and as well as there is a profile sheeting is provided. You can see the profile sheeting on the side elevation. This is the encased type. This is another type where struts are used, or you can say a truss type of a beam. A truss is provided, a steel truss is provided with the concrete supporting a concrete slab. And this is a simple profiled concrete composite slab. A T-beam arrangement, haunched beam arrangement, where there will be a haunch provided at the junction of a beam and a concrete. If a slab is not thick enough to provide a shear connectors, we can go for a haunch beam type. Third one is steel box girder type. This is a steel girder and this is a concrete slab. And fourth one is precast concrete units. So here in precast concrete units, there will be one precast unit on this side, another precast unit on this side. Steel beam will be there, and I am connecting all three together by pouring fresh concrete here, and into that fresh concrete a shear connector is provided. So these are all about beams. Now let us study about columns. There are three different types of composite columns which are principally used in composite flooring system. One is concrete encased steel column, second one is concrete filled steel tubes, and third one is rolled section columns primarily encased in a concrete. So these are the arrangements. Now few of the slab, beam and a column junctions or joints we can study here. So this is a steel column where I am also providing a facade, and then this column is connected with a steel beam, one beam on this side and a steel girder I section on the Z direction, a beam in X direction, girder in Z direction and column in Y direction. So this is a simple arrangement of a beam and a column like this type, where a steel beam is provided and above the steel beam there is a concrete. So this arrangement is a concrete which is provided with the shear connectors, and beam is connected with the girder with the help of angle plates or cleat plates and bolted connection. Second type is where I am using a column in I section. I section column is connected with the I section beam, but here I section beam is again provided with a profiled steel plate, and then a profiled steel plate is poured with a concrete material. And this profiled steel plate, wherever there are a corrugation in profiled steel plate, there are steel struts, shear connectors are connecting a concrete with a profile plate and a flange of a I section. This is a diagram representing few of the other sections. You can refer these diagrams. One more important part which is to be followed is here, if a girder is to be connected with a beam and the girder is to be inserted inside the column, inside the concrete layer, so that girder flange is not exposed on the floor because it may get corroded. So to encase this inside the concrete, we make sure that there will be a certain cover to be provided. Similarly on the other this arrangement also, here you can see the levels of a girder and levels of a beam are maintained so that a perforated or a profile steel plate is on the same level. This is a typical diagram showing profiled sheet decking arrangement. So you can see there are girders, these are the columns, these are the girder, and above the girder there is a profile sheet. You can see the zigzag layer here, and that profiled sheet is provided with poured with a concrete material. So you can see this is a profiled sheet decking, and this profiled sheet, wherever corrugations are there, in that corrugation a concrete material is filled, and there will be a grip provided for these sheets so that a concrete does not slip away, and these grips are called as dimples. This is a typical arrangement of a reinforcement above the profile sheet, and a concrete material. So there are different types of corrugations which are available in a profile sheets. This is a dovetail type and this is a horizontal indent type, or we can call it as a dovetail and a trapezoidal type. So these are the basic two types of profiles available. So these are the arrangements where we need to remember some of the details while providing a profiled sheet decking. First one is, make sure that the profile corrugation, wherever there is a corrugation, it should not interfere with shear connector. The load distribution will be always in 30 to 45 degree angle, and the edge of the from the edge of the from the center of any corrugation of a profile sheet, 45 degree should be maintained. A distance, horizontal distance should be maintained such that it does not cross or it does not cut a shear connector. Here also, from the top, wherever there is a side cantilever and wherever there is a end cantilever. So a member should be provided in such a way that the 45 degree load distribution line should not cut the member in corrugation or wherever a beam and a columns are joined. At that point, a member should not be present. It should have a certain cover length. Shear resistance in the composite slab. So whenever there is a load applied on a slab, there will be definitely a shear forces are going to be induced in the slab. The expansive and contractive nature of a beam and steel and concrete are different, and because of that there will be definitely a shear forces which are induced in the members in such a way that the joints are being displaced, and to make sure that a failure of such joints does not occur, we provide a shear correct. There are different types of shear connectors, like a short fired stud, angle bracket for a 2-pin fixing, self drilling, tapping screw, and a typical shear connector. A shear connector should fulfill requirements as follows. One is, they must transfer a direct shear at their base. Second one is, they must create a tensile link into the concrete, and they must be economic to manufacture and a fix. So this is a typical arrangement of a shear connector and shear connector profile, and this is how shear connectors are provided, or you can see here or here. Serviceability criteria. A composite slab is checked for 3 different serviceability criteria. One is a cracking, another is a deflection, and third one is a fire resistance. Cracking in the sense, whenever there is a load applied on the slab, there might be definitely there will be occurrence of cracks in the slab, and this crack width is calculated at a top surface in the negative moment region using standard methods as prescribed by IS 456. Normally, crack width should not exceed 3 mm in width. Deflection, as per IS 456 2000, stringent deflection limitation is 1:350, which may be unrealistic in a non-propped construction, but it may be worthwhile to limit the depth ratio as 25 to 35 for a composite condition. Fire resistance. The fire endurance is assumed based on the following criteria. One is a thermal insulation criteria concerned with the limiting transmission of a heat by conduction. Second one is integrity criteria concerned with preventing the flames and hot gases to a nearby component. Concrete layer should be sufficiently thick enough to resist a fire in terms of heat, in terms of flames, as well as so that it does not allow the steel member to melt. So these are the different again for fire resistance also there is a criteria given in IS 456 which specifies what should be the thickness of a slab. So these are certain introduction about composite flooring system. Thank you so much.